Welcome to the world of Excel. The most used formulas for analyzing the data are if and VLOOKUP. About 90% of the analytical Excel files would contain any of these formulas. We tend to check many things with a given data, say eligibility for promotion, eligibility for bonus, on and on and on. If he joined after this date, he is eligible for promotion. If he had achieved the target, he is eligible for an incentive. Conditions. If his salary is more than 5 lakhs, then tax is charged at the rate of 20%. Many things like this are based on conditions. The if functions behave like the expectations versus reality test. An if statement can have two results. The first result is if you are the reality that are meeting the expectation. The second is if your reality does not meet your expectations. So the functions uses the following arguments. Number one, logical test. Required argument is an required argument. This is the condition to be tested and evaluated and say whether it is satisfied or not. It is a true or false. Number two, value if true. This is an optional argument though. But what is this? As the name suggests, the value that will be returned if the logical test evaluates to true. The third argument is value if false. This is again an optional argument. The value that will be returned if the logical test evaluates to false. So when using the if function to construct a test, we can use the logical operators equal to, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to. And there are other logical formulas also that can be applied. The is functions. This is not mentioned in the index. The is function. Whether this cell is blank, whether it is a text, is a non-text, is a number. So there is function. If you type is, you will get the list of is functions. Is blank. So to check whether that cell is blank, use is blank, open the bracket, select the cell, close the bracket, enter. Well, it returns whether it is a blank cell or not, true or false. Like you can also use that. So with this data set, we are going to understand few functions. First, let's start with the overall achievement. So as you see below, we say that if his sales is more than 2,50,000 rupees, then the target is achieved. Otherwise, not achieved. So starting here, equal to if, open the bracket, the sales of the first person, leave it in relative so that copy paste can be done, is greater than or equal to. Since we are referring to a target, even if the sales is 2,50,000 exactly, it means he achieved the target. Hence, we use the greater than equal to here. Right? So greater than or equal to 2,50,000. Select the cell and freeze the cell. Comma. If the argument is true, then it means he achieved. So select that, comma. Otherwise, not achieved. Select that. That's it. So you can either manually type in the conditions and the results or link to the respective cells. That is our wish. Remember, if you are referring cells, do use the correct reference type, absolute, relative, mixed, anything. Right? Close the bracket and enter. Fill it down. You can either copy paste or select the range and use Ctrl D to fill down the formula. So things to remember about the if function. The Excel if function will work even if the logical test returns a numeric value. In such a case, any non-zero value, 1, 2, 5, 7, anything, any non-zero value is treated as true and 0 is treated as false. The second one is you might get hashtag value error. This occurs when the given logical test argument cannot be evaluated as true or false. It is not evaluable, right? And the third one is if we wish to count conditions, we should use the countif and countifs function. And if we wish to add up conditions, we should use the sumif and sumifs function. In these cases, normal if function might not work. So again, you see the power of Excel using function within function. use if function within if function here. So other logical functions like and or can also be used within if in the logical test argument. So in these cases, we call these as nested if function. First, we will understand if within if. Once we arrive at the achievement status, we require to say the level of achievement. Say if it is more than 2,50,000, it is higher. Exactly. And then if it is exactly 2,50,000, then it is same. Otherwise, it is lower. So if we use if, check any one condition first. So equal to if sales is greater than sales, yeah, greater than 2,50,000, comma, here I want the result as higher. Select that, comma. Now, if the sales is not greater than 2,50,000, I need to check whether it is exactly 2,50,000 or it is lesser. So enter another if function here. Entering if function here is if the original condition returns false, if the original condition returns false, this function will be carried out. So if, open the bracket, sales is equal to 2,50,000, comma, same is the result I want here, select that, comma. Now, do we need to include another if and say if sales is less than 2,50,000, return me lower? No. So, because there can't be any other way here. Either the number should be higher or same or lower. Already we mentioned two. So, in the false argument of the second, if I just say lower, lower will be the result if the first condition and second conditions are false. So, now we need to close the formula, right? One close bracket is not sufficient. We have two open formulas. The original if function and the if function entered in the false argument of original if. So the first close bracket will close the latest formula, latest open formula, and the second if function. That is the second if function. Then you see that you are currently in the third argument of the first formula. Huh? Third argument of the first formula. So enter another close bracket to close the first if. So entire thing is covered. Enter. Copy this down and it's over. So like this, we can go on add number of if formula within formulas. And talking about logical functions and or. So each argument we enter within these functions are logical test only. And as the name suggests, if all the arguments of and function are true, the and will result true. Otherwise, the result will be false. In case of OR function, even if any one of the arguments returns true, then the function will also return true. So we will understand this using the function within if function by checking the product level target achievement and the bonus eligibility. First, taking up the product level achievement. So what is the conditions here? If the salesperson sells product A, then his target is 1,50,000, and if he sells B, his target is 2,50,000. Now we need to check whether this product level target is achieved or not. So first we will enter equal to if, open the bracket. Now we need to check two conditions, one with respect to the product A and its target, plus another one with respect to product B and its target. So two if functions will come here, and first set is product should be A and value should be greater than or equal to 1,50,000. So enter this within AND function, A and D, open the bracket, product cell selected equal to A within quotes, comma. The second criteria we need to see is sales, this one, greater than or equal to 1,50,000. Right? Close the bracket. So this will return true or false as a result, which is the requirement for if function's logical test. Right? For that argument, I want either true or false as the last value. Then, comma. If that is true, whatever we entered in first one is true, then return me achieved, comma. Otherwise, go and check the second condition. There is another product there. If open the bracket. Again, there are two conditions to be satisfied. Use and open the bracket. Product is equal to B within quotes, comma. Sales should be greater than or equal to 2,50,000. Close the bracket, comma. So if B, product is B, and the sales is greater than or equal to 2,50,000, then it is achieved within double quotes. And comma, in all other cases, the result should be not achieved. In all other cases, even if it is not product B, the result is not achieved. Okay, close the bracket and enter, filling it down. So now you can see that even if Rahul has not achieved the overall achievement, he achieved the product level target. So his sales is around 2 lakhs, but the target for product A is only 1.5 lakhs. Right? And now the company policy states that if a person achieved either the product level target or the overall target, he is eligible for bonus. So we can use two if functions. If overall equal to achieved, then eligible, or if product level is equal to achieved, then eligible. In all other cases, not eligible. But this is bit lengthier. We can shorten the formula to check whether any of these two is achieved by using OR function. So equal to if, open the bracket, or open the bracket, overall achievement, select, equal to achieved within double quotes, comma, product level achievement, select, equal to achieved within double quotes, close the bracket. So this function will return true if any one is achieved. If it is achieved in overall, it is eligible. True. If it is achieved only in product level but not in overall, again this will be true. If achieved in both, again it will be true. So no problem. If any one of the condition is satisfied, it is true. So comma, if condition, so second argument of if this is true, we need to say he is eligible within quotes, comma, otherwise not eligible. Right? Close the bracket and enter. So we now have the eligibility list. Here a bonus formula, XOR. XOR, what does it do is it returns true if only one of the condition is true and all the other are false. So you give 5 conditions, only one is true, rest all 4 is false, then the XOR formula will return true as the result. If 2 conditions is true and 3 returns false, the XOR formula returns false. So this is sounds similar, but why it is important is sometimes we need to check the exclusive true. So if he satisfies 2 conditions, we need to say he is ineligible because like he might have some other rewards for that, some other awards for that. Maybe. Yeah. So many Excel newbies struggle to understand VLOOKUP and end up getting errors or incorrect results. But please remember, nothing is hard to understand. VLOOKUP is as simple as using SUMIF function or even a sum function. So we just need to know what are number one, our requirements. Number two, the formula requirements. That is what the arguments of the particular formula require to deliver the desired output. So use VLOOKUP when you need to find things in a table or a range by rows. So most of us will have data in the vertical manner, something like this, right? Here, product, department as headers, and the different rows contains different data. So this is the case where we will use VLOOKUP. In its simplest form, the VLOOKUP function says equal to VLOOKUP, open the bracket, what you want to look up, the first argument. Second argument is where you want to look for it. The third argument is the column number in the range containing the value to return, that is your result column. Number 4, return an approximate or exact match. Indicate as 1 or true for approximate match, or 0 or false for exact match. Close the bracket. So unless otherwise you are sure to use the approximate match, use the exact match. This is where few go wrong. Though the fourth argument is optional in the VLOOKUP formula, it is always required to specify the match type. Exact match is the case used 90% of the time when we use VLOOKUP. But the default setting is approximate match. So we will have to enter it manually every time. So we will understand the approximate match in the later video. Okay. So this is an example with text. So approximate or exact may not have big impact here. The number lookup will definitely have an impact in the match type, right? Okay. So here we need to find out the department of each personnel. Yes. Again, we could use the if function, but think if there are more than 100 products, there are thousands of salesperson and there are hundreds of products, it is not preferable to key in everything in if function, because by that time you could have simply entered the department names manually for everyone, right? So use VLOOKUP, okay, equal to VLOOKUP, open the bracket. So we look for the product name here. Select that, comma. Where we are looking for? So we are looking for the product name in this data. Remember, the VLOOKUP will look only in the first column or the leftmost column of the range we select. So you may ask, why do we select the entire data here? Why can't only the first column? The key is the range we select should begin with the lookup column and end at least with the result column. So begin with lookup column and end with the result column. You can select more columns too if required. So select the entire data for safety, right? Comma. The column number which contains the result. Column number in the selected range. So column 1 contains the product details. Column 2 contains the departments. So we need the department name as the result. So enter 2, comma. So here the third argument of VLOOKUP is a number. So remember that if you want to return a number, you can use find function also, maybe if required, right? So, comma. Specify 0 always unless you need to use the approximate match. Close the bracket and enter. Fill this down. Over. Oh no, there is an error in between. Why? Yeah. So because we are looking for a product that is not there in the data. Product C. Now what do? We check with our HR, go there and get the data updated. So until then, what to do? Yeah, it is very bad and I can't take a printout with an error. Oh my god. Bad, right? So until then, to avoid showing error like this, we can let the Excel say, check with HR. Huh? How to make Excel say that? Cover this formula, the entire VLOOKUP formula with if error. So go to the cell edit mode, press F2, go to the beginning, just after equal to, come here. Yeah. Okay. Now enter the formula if error, open bracket. Okay. And now the VLOOKUP formula is there. Come to the end of the formula, put a comma. So now you are in the value if error argument of the if error. Now enter check with HR within quotes, double quotes always. Close the bracket and enter. Fill it down. So now what do if error do? Yeah, it checks whether the result in the first argument is an error. If it is, then it returns the second argument as a result. If there is no error, it returns the results of the first argument itself. So if error covers most of the Excel error types. Similarly, there is another formula called if NA. That formula covers only the NA errors, hashtag NA, what we just saw here. So if there are any other errors like reference error, value error, what we saw earlier, the formula would still return that error as result under if NA function. So use if error in most of the cases for better performance. Before covering with if error, check the formula. Before covering with the error, check the formula and the results twice, thrice, four times, five times, at least, to understand if there are any mistake exist in the formula. If the error is because of a mistake you caused in the formula, everything will be zero, everything will be checked with star. So you need to check the formula and confirm that the formula is correct in the first place. Practice these formulas again, again, and again. Don't worry if you do not understand just by watching this video once. Practice it. Then come visit the video again. Practice again, 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 and again. No matter how great the talent or efforts, some things just take time. You can't produce a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Huh? So keep calm and accelerate yourself. We will see more cool stuffs going forward. Bye bye.